Hi, welcome back. In my last video, I introduced this beautiful cream puff of a car. This is my new to me 1995 Volvo 850. And I had mentioned that it had some quirks and features, as all 30-year-old cars do, but I didn't get too into detail. So in this video, I'm going to kind of explain what's going on with the car, what we need to do to it to get it 100% roadworthy. And then we're going to talk about gear. Aside from the aforementioned quirks and features, like the radio, the missing trim pieces that I got to reattach, aside from all that stuff, it's pretty good to go. Nothing is too concerning with the way this thing drives right now. I'd say the biggest thing is the day after I made my last video, I was driving around and I noticed a blinking arrow on the dashboard, which indicates the transmission is driving in limp mode, meaning I could not use my bottom two gears. And so it was taking a lot of RPMs to get it up to speed, to get it moving, especially on hills. It was not happy with driving on hills. I took it to get the OBD2 port scanned. It said I had a bad shift solenoid, specifically the B1. And after doing a bunch of investigating and after calling the previous owner, it could be a number of things. It might not just be the shift solenoid. So I don't know what exactly I'm going to do about that. After I thought it had gotten as worse as it could have been, the light all of a sudden magically disappeared and the transmission was driving fine, and it has been. I'm going to knock on wood just to ensure that it doesn't do that again. That's probably the biggest issue. Aside from that, the driver's side mirror doesn't like to stay in place at highway speeds. It always kicks out to the furthest position. So when I'm not driving on the highway, it's not a problem. But it could turn into a big problem. I've put some duct tape on it to keep it in place in the past, but I don't like the way that looks. I can hear the motor whirring inside, but the motor just isn't attached to the mirror. So maybe I just need to reattach it. We just got our biggest amount of rain where I live after buying the car, and I noticed the day after that the passenger side floorboard up in the front was soaked. And it's not the sunroof, it's not the door drain. I have no idea what it is. There might be a drain underneath the hood below the windshield. It might be one of the drain tubes coming from the sunroof. But again, I'm just kind of lost on that one right now. So that's another thing to figure out. Aside from all that stuff, the car runs great. It is a pleasure to drive. I don't expect to have too many problems. Again, knock on wood. So I'm looking forward to kind of taking care of all of those issues. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this thing takes us as far as trips go. After taking care of all of those big problems, the only things I really want to do to the car are putting a rooftop rack on the top and like a storage box, and then maybe putting some new wheels on it. I like the stock wheels, but I think it'd be fun to kind of customize it a little bit more. But aside from that, that's pretty much it.
The Shaolin and the Wu-Tang could be dangerous. Do you think your Wu-Tang sword can defeat me?
On guard. Wake the motherfucking ruckus! Wake the motherfucking ruckus! Hey!
All right, so now we're in my family's garage. Just like every great American garage, it has been relegated to storage and hobbies and gear alike. And this is my bicycle. It's just a standard plain old aluminum frame. I bought it for like $200 off of Facebook Marketplace while I lived in Colorado. This was like the first purchase I made when I moved to Colorado. And I mean, as far as bikes go, when it's working, it is just like any other bike to ride. It came with the carbon fiber fork. I put some all-terrain tires on it. I was going to try and make it like a cyclocross bike. And then I put some bags on it. This was the daily commuter, weekend rider. I mean, this was the do-it-all bike. For comfort, I put some Salsa cow chipper, wide gravel bars on it. This is also the bicycle that I broke my foot on. As much as I love this bike, I just don't think it's up to the task of doing a bikepacking trip, especially an off-road bikepacking trip. Ever since I moved back home after breaking my foot, I think I've ridden this thing 2 times. Predominantly because when I crashed this bike and broke my foot, I did some serious damage to the bike. The front brake is completely out of whack, and me being the home mechanic that I am, I thought I could fix it myself, and I think I broke it even more. The derailleur in the rear is acting kind of weird last time I checked, but overall, I mean, this thing has been great. The main reason I want to replace this bike is because it's just not up to task with the goals we have set. So I'm looking to get something more robust. I've thought about just going the mountain bike route, some kind of hardtail, and using that for bike packing. But being a roadie at heart, I love drop bar bikes. If you have any gravel bike recommendations, please let me know. The bike is really the biggest piece of gear we'll need. I have acquired quite a lot of gear over the years that I think we can get away with using for bike packing. The trick is, how do we make all of the gear we need fit onto a bike? Because I'm not going to ride with a backpack. I think it comes down to having a big frame bag, maybe a saddle bag, or mounting some kind of rear rack system, and then a handlebar bag, way bigger than this one. As far as what gear we need, we pretty much have everything covered. The main things we need, and this is bare bones, right? Like, we are not looking at taking a lot of luxuries on bike packing trips. The main luxuries are going to be our cameras, so we can record them. With cameras, you need chargers and battery packs and all that extra stuff. So cameras are going to take up quite a lot of space. A sleep system, so sleeping bag, sleeping pad. I've got a tarp that I'll probably use for the first couple bike packs we go on, and that's our sleep system. That's going to take up a lot of space. I think clothes are going to take up a good amount of space as well. Then we need a kitchen. We'll probably be bringing a stove, so we'll need gas. My stove is pretty small. We'll just need to find some small gas containers. Food is going to take up a good amount of space. We're going to need to dedicate a good amount of space to bike repair tools. So we'll need bike repair stuff, multi-tools, extra brake pads, extra tubes, extra sealant, stuff like that. That's something we're going to have to look into as well. All that is to say, our biggest challenge is going to be playing Tetris with all of our stuff and finding the best way that we can fit everything on there. Like I said, I think I'm going to try and get away with using as much stuff that I already have. The biggest thing is going to be the bike. Now that we've got the car, we can definitely start moving in different directions. So once again, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. The last video got way more attention than any of my other videos, probably because it was about a fucking sick Volvo. We'll definitely be featuring the Volvo in way more videos in the future. Again, if you have any bike recommendations, I highly appreciate it. If you want to let me know what you recommend. So thanks for watching again, and I'll keep you updated.